for today. We're talking to Pastor KWalker from the Abundant Life Christian Center in North Nashville, and he's talking about ex-offenders in Tennessee and some of the programs called second chance programs that are designed to help these individuals translate or transform from incarceration to freedom in a real sense. Let's pick up where we left off, Pastor Walker, by having you to identify those individuals who have made parole or have served their term, and now they are out and they're out of the system. And where do they go from here?
Yeah, I mean, they're still. It seems like I say you get punished, you know, from the beginning. The purpose of incarceration is to punish and to rehabilitate. You go through the punishment by being incarcerated, you get rehabilitated while you're in there, then you're released, and then it's almost like the punishment phase kicks back in all over again, because of the fact is now, here I am, I'm out. And in a lot of cases, I might not even have an identification card. I understand the state is doing something in that particular area to ensure that inmates have ID cards when they come out of the system. I know the one that just recently got out, he didn't have one, but anyway, they're working on it.
I think they've been working on this for quite a while, because I think we've talked about this before, and they didn't come to any kind of conclusion in reference to it.
I think they're actually doing it. I mean, you know, in some cases, like in everything, some things fall through the cracks and stuff like that, but I think the overall process is being done right now. It's happening. But, you know, still, when people get out and I say that they're people, when they get out, they become ex-offenders, and now they got all these challenges. You know, it's like the system has labeled an ex-offender, and myself being an ex-offender, as once a crook, always a crook. And the reason why I say that is because no matter what you have accomplished while you're incarcerated, you know, and no matter how many classes you've gone through, how many different certificates and different skill sets and things you may have, when you get out here in the job market, then people is holding up signs, help not wanted, in your regard, because the fact is you're an ex-offender and you've committed a crime. It doesn't matter if you've been punished for it. It doesn't matter if you have been rehabilitated. It doesn't matter that your whole thought processes has changed and you're not that individual anymore. The fact is you're an ex-offender. You committed a crime. So for the rest of your life, you're going to be punished for what you did. A man commits a crime at 18 years old, goes in the prison system, maybe serves 10 years on a sentence, gets out at the age of 28, but for the rest of his natural life, he's going to be branded as an ex-offender. That's going to follow him for the rest of his life, no matter 10 years past, 15 years, 20 years past, he's still considered as an ex-offender. So what they're saying is you're still considered as somebody that's unworthy. But the parole board says that you are worthy enough to be released back into society. So therefore, we're paroling you. But now you're out here, you're an ex-offender, you're trying to struggle to get a job. I mean, the economy, the way that it is, I mean, people that are not ex-offenders are struggling to get a job. So you can imagine the magnitude of the challenge that an ex-offender is having in trying to find a job. But now you understand, Dr. Haney, these people got families. They may have had them going in, may have gotten out, and may have a family now. And their family deserves to be protected. Their family deserves to eat, to have life insurance, health insurance, and all the other types of things that's afforded to every other citizen in America. But at the same time, you said in the individual that since you're an ex-offender, you don't have a right to that. You don't have a right to gainful employment. You don't have a right to have benefits for your children, benefits for your spouse, to feed your family and stuff like that. You don't have a right to even protect your family because you committed a crime so many years ago, and it's just so unfair to people. So what is the person supposed to do? And then they want to always hold up this recidivism rate or this reincarceration rate, and then they want to hold that up not truthfully, because if the truth be told, over 52 or 53% of the people that reoffend or are reincarcerated for technical parole violation. And what I mean by that is they failed to report to their parole officer. They didn't find a job. They moved without letting their parole officer know. They went out of the county without letting a parole officer know. Those things like that, which are technical violations, but at the same time, the obstacle course is put before the individual coming out, and it's not enough done in the state legislative arena to make that different, you know, because I'm not understanding why I got to pay taxes, but I can't be treated as a citizen.
You know, one of the things that you've indicated is that there's a general prejudice of employers against individuals who have been incarcerated.
Right.
Therefore, it seems that the only entity that could really hire these individuals would be the state. I mean, does that make any sense? That is, you know, considering the kind of things that they do, you know, the things that they've done while they are incarcerated. Would it be possible for the state to, what would be some of the drawbacks in reference to trying to accomplish that?
Well, I think it has to be in the private sector. It has to be the employers, the potential employers, the business owners. Man, they have to change their thought process and their mindset concerning ex-offenders. Because you think about it, one of the biggest things, if you got a company that's at risk when you hire anybody, whether they're ex-offender or not, is theft of services, company property and stuff like that. Well, you take an individual that murdered somebody in self-defense. They went into the prison system. The court said, okay, you said self-defense, but we didn't find it like that, so we're sentencing you. Okay, you go in, you're not, I mean, you never had a criminal record or anything like that, but you kill somebody. You go in, you do your time, you rehabilitate, you come back out of the system, and then you're trying to get a job. But the system, the companies are not going to hire you in that position because they're looking at you as somebody that committed the crime of murder, but their main concern is whether or not somebody's going to steal from them. I mean, this guy didn't go to prison for stealing. He went to prison for murder. So why are you afraid to hire this individual that has been punished, that has been rehabilitated, that wants to come back out, pay his debts to society, become a taxpaying citizen? See, until we break that mindset, we're going to always have this problem, and then people are going to always get frustrated because, you know, people commit crimes a lot of times out of their need for things. You know what I'm saying? Some people just commit crimes, you know, when they steal and take just because they're on drugs and stuff like that. But you take a person that really want to do the right thing, and then everything you look at is a roadblock, is frustration, it's an obstacle. Parole officer putting pressure on you to get a job, and the job people, the people at the company saying we can't hire you because you're an ex-offender, and parole officer saying, well, you got to find something somewhere. So all that frustration goes in. Then you got a spouse over here, you know, you've been gone all this time, you haven't done anything really for them. So now you're out there, have an expectation for you to do that. Everybody's expecting you to produce, but every obstacle is in your path where it keeps you from producing. So then you get frustrated, and a lot of times these guys or women, they just reoffend and go back into the system because their time is being regulated. You know you're gonna eat. You know you're gonna have some medical care, you know, in the prison system. And even though it's not an ideal situation to live in, it's less frustrating.
It's better than what's outside, the way people are willing to receive you and deal with you.
Because if I'm saying, man, if I done worked on myself, I'm doing all these things, man. I mean, you got people that are ministering the word of God and everything in prison system. Man, you got people that are paralegals and stuff like that, man, can go through the legal system, man, and do all this stuff. But when they get out, why not hire these individuals? They have the knowledge, they have the ability, they have the skills, they have the wherewithal to do these things, but we won't hire them.
Either that, or perhaps give employers some incentive to perhaps you know, deal with those individuals who have been incarcerated. You know, I mean,
I'm glad you said that because there's called the Second Chance Act. I think President George Bush signed it into law before he left office, and then President Barack Obama has been releasing funds for nonprofits that are developing programs to assist men and women who are coming back into free world society. You know, and that's a good thing. There's some government funding available. It's called the Second Chance Act, and I think it was signed in 05. Second Chance Act of 2005, I believe it was, that came in. I think, either that's when it started. I don't know when it was. I think it was 07 when it was signed. But anyway, that's in place right now. It's available right now, and its money is available for programs that offer assistance to inmates coming out of the prison system. Now, what it takes to tap into that and get that money, and how much of that money you're able to get, I have no idea. But I do know that money is available.
The money is available.
Oh,
and we can simply make our audience aware of the fact that they can further check into that and whatever. And so, of course, Reverend Walker, we're coming to the end of this show for today, but again, I believe that this has been a worthy undertaking because you've dealt with some problems and some challenges in a real sense that are faced by a large number of people, you see, because when these individuals go into the system, when they get out, they've got a lot of folks that are dependent on them while they're in there. And so it's a real problem. And I think it's a problem that many of us have overlooked and not been as sympathetic toward it. And as a pastor, you know, you should have said something about the church's responsibility.
Absolutely. The church.
But we always talk about the church.
And
of course, let me encourage our audience to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Comments. Thank you and good morning.